Mr. Peters, where would you raise taxes? Where would you cut them?
Well, I think that folks who need the most relief right now are, without question, middle-class taxpayers. Middle-class taxpayers are being squeezed unlike like they have been for many, many years. We've seen actually average incomes have declined for most middle-income taxpayers at the same time that fuel costs are increasing, the cost of prescription drugs are increasing, medical costs generally, that I do believe that middle-class taxpayers deserve a middle-class tax cut. And I think we also need to take a look at our policies on corporate taxes, and in particular, a corporate policy that I think just doesn't make any sense. So right now, there are significant tax breaks that are given to corporations that ship jobs overseas. To me, that does not make any sense. We already know there are reasons why a company might ship our jobs overseas. There's lower wages, lower regulation. They certainly do not need a federal tax break to take our jobs and ship those overseas. That needs to end. Tax breaks should be for American companies that are investing in American workers, American plant and equipment, and that's something that I will make sure that we focus on, is giving the breaks to our local companies and not those companies that are shipping our jobs overseas.
Mr. Peters, would you raise taxes on any group of earners? Would you raise taxes on business?
I mentioned where the taxes you would have folks. We're going to not give it to folks who are shipping our jobs overseas.
Okay.
There will be tax breaks for companies that are investing in American workers and a tax break for middle-class taxpayers.
Would you raise the taxes on higher income earners?
My focus is on middle-class taxpayers.
That's a yes or no question, Mr. Peters. Would you raise taxes on higher income earners?
Are you asking for a pledge, Nolan? Are you asking for a pledge?
I'm asking for yes or no.
Well,
your presidential candidate has suggested raising taxes on people who earn more than $250,000
If you look at where the
would you vote yes or no when that comes to the floor?
Nolan, I will answer your question.
Okay.
So, and you know I like to have detailed answers to questions as we
yes or no we do.
Well, again, I will answer the question, but I'm not going to answer it in a simplistic way as much as you'd like me to. I will not do that. If you look at the Bush tax cuts basically favor the folks at the very top who got significant tax breaks. In fact, we're seeing in this country a continuing widening of the income gap between everybody, perhaps most of us in this room, and the folks at the very top that are doing extremely well. In fact, the income differences between the folks in the middle and the folks at the top are equivalent to the Gilded Age of this country back in the early 1900s. So if we do need to generate some revenue, and I'm not in a position to do that now, that would be how I would look at taxes. Folks who are making incredible amounts of money, $1 million plus, who are doing extremely well and are paying very low rates, may have to pay higher taxes at some point in the future. But our priority has to be, first and foremost, to give tax breaks to middle-income taxpayers now.